Jesus taught his followers and us as his followers to pray this: God, let your kingdom come. Let your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And I want to focus on that, your kingdom come. What does that mean? And Jesus isn't speaking of it as if it's some sort of future reality, but he's actually saying, partner with us. God, show us how to bring your kingdom, the present reality, to earth. And then he taught us, and he taught his disciples to seek first his kingdom, again in Matthew 6. Well, how are we to seek first his kingdom unless we believe that it is something that can be accessed right now? How did we all end up on this side of the room? Look at it. It's like, sorry, I'm just noticing these things as I'm spinning around. I'm like, there's a lot of people over on this side. Hello, everyone. And you as well. I will keep pivoting, I promise. So he taught us to seek first his kingdom. And how are we to seek first his kingdom unless it is something that we can actually seek and find and participate in this life and in this time? But we have to remember that the kingdom that Jesus came to establish was radically different than any of the kingdoms that came before him and any of the kingdoms that exist upon the earth today. And Jesus came, and he came proclaiming and teaching the kingdom. And he said to us, demonstrating to us and demonstrating to his followers, this is what the kingdom looks like. The sick are healed, the blind see, the condemned are freed, the oppressed and the forgotten are valued and cherished. The good news is for everyone, but it's also good news for the poor. And orphans are adopted, and his family is extended, and his table is open. And this is what Jesus came proclaiming, and this is what Jesus came demonstrating with his life, to show us what the kingdom that he was telling us to ask for, and the kingdom that he was telling us to pursue. This is what the kingdom looks like. And so he showed us and demonstrated it because he was establishing not an earthly kingdom, but a spiritual kingdom. And that spiritual kingdom, we know now, would be started as a mustard seed, but it would grow to fill, as it has, would continue to fill the entire earth. And so that's what Jesus, by his life, his death, his resurrection, his enthronement, and his outpouring of his Spirit, what he accomplished for us. But we can't see this kingdom because it isn't an earthly kingdom. And that's the conversation that Jesus had, we talked about last week, that Jesus had with Nicodemus, who came to him and asked him these questions about the kingdom and about being born again. And he had this confusion about what Jesus was teaching in John chapter 3. And Jesus replied, very truly, I tell you, no one can see the kingdom of God unless they are born again from above. And what this translates as is just the reality of being reborn from a different source. We cannot see it through earthly eyes. We have to be born again spiritually, to have the spiritual eyes to be able to see and perceive the spiritual realities and the spiritual kingdom that Jesus came to establish.